Hello everybody, FinnCapp here. I'd like to welcome you to our first video for Torchlight Infinite Season 10. In this video, I'm going to go over the upcoming changes for Season 10 and what we can expect. The new season will go live Friday, October 10th at 7 p.m. Pacific Time or 10 p.m. Eastern. Now before we get started, if you could do me the greatest of favors and give this video a quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and make sure and turn on the bell notification. I would greatly appreciate it, and it is a huge help to the channel. I'm also going to leave all of my links to my socials down in the description. If you'd like to see more content from me, I'm a full-time streamer on Twitch, and I would look forward to seeing you in the chat at the start of this season. So for Season 10, the new theme is the Overrealm. As you're going through mapping in the Netherrealm, you'll find portals to the Overrealm that you can interact with. Once you interact with them and kill the mobs that come out, you'll be able to open the door or the portal to the Overrealm. Once inside the portal, you have a limited time to kill as many mobs as you can to fill up your progress bar. Once you max that progress bar out, you'll be able to open the floor to the next layer, allowing you to push even deeper. Now, from what they were saying in the video, you do start out with 4 layers that you can access at the beginning, and I'm guessing that the further you push into your time marks in the Netherrealm, the more layers you'll unlock, but we won't really know that till the season starts. Now, one last thing as far as the season mechanic goes. As you fill the progress bar, you are going to start to capture random shadows in the bottle that are going to give you buffs to your loot. It can be all random for each one of these, but these can also stack, so you can get the same one multiple times. So I'm going to guess the more of these that you get that are stacking the same type, they're going to make it even better at the end. Also, as you unlock more layers, you should be able to stack even more rewards, making it even better on the later time mark. Next, we have this season's new hero trait, Bing 2 with Creative Genius. He is focused around Spell Burst with his 2 mechanical buddies. He's based around using these mechanical buddies to both debuff and deal damage to enemies. He also gets to choose an additional hero trait that will buff his companions. You can choose one for each, either the blue or the red, for each tier of the hero trait. They are also introducing new this season, Ethereal Prisms. These are items that can be placed into your talent tree and can super buff one area, as well as replacing one of the selectable main talents for that area. They can also change them and make one of those choosable talents something completely different, and should add a huge power spike to any build. There are over 20 of these new prisms being added, as well as a super rare mirror one that can mirror the area that is placed into the tree to the opposite side of the tree for even more of a power boost. I honestly think this could be an amazing stepping stone or a tool into increasing player power towards breaking into that profound wall that we all seem to hit sometimes, where it's you're good up to T8 and then boom, you hit that difficulty for profound. I think this could be a great tool for allowing us to break through that wall. They're adding a couple of new uniques to go along with combo skills that are being added this season, as well as some that are going to buff Affliction and a few other archetypes. The new combo skills are based around earning and spending those combo points for massive damage. I honestly think these could be pretty nutty on any type of fast attack speed character that can utilize both their attack speed and movement speed to earn and spend these points quickly. Again, huge DPS increase. I think we should see some absolutely amazing builds kind of based around these combo skills. Earlier, I mentioned the difficulty and the brick wall of progressing into profound, and it looks like they are trying to work towards smoothing that process out just a little bit. They are having the Ember cost for non-priceless gear, which should make it a little less expensive for getting your gear set up and prepared to go into priceless. They've also tripled the rates of the confusing dreams and the dream interpretation. This should allow you to get your curses a little easier. Again, not cost so much, lower that cost or barrier of entry. We'll definitely have to see if, this is something that's actually practically going to work, or if it's something that's just kind of a drop in the bucket type of thing. But it looks like they are trying to move towards, or are trying to skew towards making it a little easier to get into those harder difficulties like profound, but we'll definitely have to see how that goes. Now, if you remember the Outlaw mechanic from last season, that has essentially gone core. They've done a couple of changes to it to make it a little smoother. With the mechanic itself, they've removed coins for the tower. They've changed how some of the rooms in the tower itself works. They added a Netherrealm talent tree for it, so if you want to spec into it pretty heavily, you're more than welcome to with a complete talent tree for it. As well as they smoothed out the Pactspirit for its mechanics by changing it to a guaranteed progressive trigger for more stable rewards than such more of an RNG hit or miss that it was before. They've also added a pretty cool in-map mechanic called the Original Sin Cage. It's like a mobile tank that has guardians around it. Once you defeat the Guardians, you can then start attacking the cage itself. And as you do damage, it'll start to release more Guardians. Now, these Guardians are supposedly pretty powerful, but they also drop and add a consummate reward. So they're really difficult, but they also give you really good rewards. I'm guessing this isn't going to be some easy peasy mechanic. This was something originally designed for you to do in deep space. So you're going to need to have a good build to benefit from it, but it definitely seems worth the risk. Now, they've also added and included a Netherrealm talent tree for it, as well as compasses, so you can buff it even more to your heart's content. Now, another big development is candles have been removed from the game. They feel its mechanics are not quite clear and have done a little better through other mechanics. So with that, they have removed actual candles from the game. This is their attempt to start revamping or taking out some of the mechanic bloat that's in the game. Hopefully, this will make some of the mechanics a bit easier to understand, not as convoluted, and reduce the knowledge barrier for some people to get into those mechanics that may not really quite understand them. They are doing a major revamp to Aeterna to start, and with that, again, they're removing the candles, but they understand that it may just be done with the mechanic as a whole, right? So you know what? You're making a change, but I just don't care. I don't want to do the mechanic. To kind of help in the furtherance to that, what they are doing is a one-time this season-long only event where you can do a Pactspirit exchange for the ones from Aeterna specifically. You can change it in for a Pactspirit essence that can be traded for a drop Pactspirit selection pack of your choice. What all will be in it, again, it's in the video itself if you really want to watch it, but there are a couple in there if you want to change it out and you just no longer want to mess with the Aeterna as well. From here on out, I'm just going to fast track a few more changes that I don't want the video to run on for too long, but we do still have a few items to mention. The trade house has been optimized in a couple of different ways. It is another focus this season. They've done a lot of work on the back end to, one, remove a lot of items that you see that have already been sold. You got to click on it, already been sold. They've done a lot of back end work to fix that, as well as working on a price checking for the logic to make it better and faster, so you're getting a more accurate price when price checking things. And finally, they also worked at items being listed faster. Instead of, a couple of minutes that would take to list an item when you posted it before, they've tried to work on making that much faster now. They've also done some back-end work and changed the way that corrosion works a little bit now. They do understand that corrosion sometimes is a build-defining mechanic. So now, whenever a legendary item gets a mutation corrosion, it's no longer bound and can be sold. The stat panel has had a few things updated on it so you can get better information, especially when using it on the training dummy. It just gives a lot more information about your stats-wise for anybody that types that information. They did update the logic for ailments to still apply when you one-shot a mob. Before, if you one-shot it, would never apply your ailment. Now it does. They also fixed the overwrite logic, and the problem you used to have is weaker versions of an ailment would overwrite a stronger version. That no longer should happen. Now, whatever the strongest version is on should never get overwritten by a weaker one. They've done some improvements to hardcore. One of the big things they did is they want people to have time to prepare their build for the season start. So they have pushed it out 4 weeks from the season start to give people that time. They're also adding a lot more incentives to hardcore to make it more enticing for people or players as a whole. And moving forward, they want to put a lot more work and effort into hardcore. So we'll see how they do as far as that crowd goes. Finally, they've added a few new events. To start, we have the Anomaly Archive, which is one of the 7-day login events that rewards pack stones and supplies for the player to use. There is the case file, the door, which is kind of the main event for it. For the season, when reacting with the mechanic in certain ways and a certain number of times, you'll get rewards based on certain milestones of you doing that. They've done and added a new player 7-day support login event that will award a legendary drop Pactspirit from the current pool. This is for any player during the current season, not just brand new accounts. So don't worry that you're not going to get it if you've played before. You will still get it just for playing this season. You will also receive an activation medium for free by completing the campaign. They did add a bunch of new cosmetics and stuff. If you want to look those up in game, you're more than welcome to. I'm not going to show them all off, but they did add a bunch of those. That being said, this is going to be the end of the video. I hope my recap helped anybody that watched it. Thank you so much for coming along and hanging out with me during this video. Again, my name is FinnCapp. I hope you had an amazing day. I had an amazing time with this video for Season 10, and I will see you guys at Season Start. Okay, bye.